Raw, the number 4, TV.tv. And once again, thank you very much for being here tonight. I hope that everyone will go ahead and make that transition over to Too Raw for TV once these other platforms, once the stream on the other platforms end. Now, the phone lines will be opening in a moment after we get into the show. So if you would like to call in and share an opinion, a comment, a question, whatever it may be, please feel free to go ahead and do so. Now, by now, most of us are aware of the Karmelo Anthony situation. And if you are not, Karmelo Anthony is a 17-year-old youth who is being accused of first-degree murder for a fatal stabbing against another kid. I can't remember his first name. But it's like I said, everybody is pretty much already aware of the situation. So, there's a lot of speculation about what happened, but the reality of the matter is that the trial has not begun as of yet, so we don't have all the facts and specifics of the case. Now, a lot of people are saying that they feel like this was a stand your ground type situation because it is being reported. Like I said, again, nothing has been completely substantiated as of yet because this is an ongoing case and the trial has not been set yet. So again, there is no witnesses that have taken the stand, no evidence that has been presented. But based on some people, information that they said that people who were there have been reported saying it was a situation as to where the young man who ended up, doing the fatal stabbing was under a tent at a school event. And people are saying that it wasn't his tent that was assigned to his school. And it's also been reported that him and the other young man who was fatally stabbed, they had bad blood between each other. So the young man saw him under the tent, and I guess some type of disagreement ensued. He tried to forcibly remove, why am I drawing a blank? He tried to forcibly remove the young man who did the stabbing from up under the tent. And, whatever transpired in between that, a knife was drawn and the young man was fatally stabbed. So that is just the base of what most people know right now. I'm not going to pretend like I know the ins and outs of this case because, like I said, it's an ongoing situation and the trial has not started.
Austin Metcalf is the name that you're looking for. Austin Metcalf. That's the
Austin Metcalf.
Yeah.
I drew a blank. I couldn't remember his name, but his name has been all over the media, so I'm sure there's plenty of people who already, is aware of the situation because at this point it has become a very high-profile international case. At this point, people all over the world are aware of what has happened. And me personally, I have opinions about it. Like I said, no one knows the 100% facts except the people who were involved and the people who have an eyewitness account of it. Now, some people are saying if they were at a public venue, was there any video of the incident? And if they do have a video, are they going to be releasing it? So I guess all that stuff is yet to be seen. Again, this is a pretty new situation. It is an ongoing case, and we will, some facts will start to come out, I'm sure, pretty soon once the trial is set and the trial has begun. But what I do want to talk about tonight, like I said, since we don't have any real specifics on the case as of yet, I want to talk about something that I've been noticing going on social media, because regardless of if there are any facts that have been presented right now, the court of public opinion is in full swing. So you have some people that are saying they feel like this was a stand your ground self-defense situation, because it's also being reported that Austin Metcalf and I believe they're twins, his brother. This has kind of been a back and forth situation where they were bullying Karmelo, and unfortunately, it was a situation where it ended up being fatal. That last, run-in that they had with each other. So you have people saying, well, in that case, if he was being bullied and harassed, then 9 times out of 10, it was a stand your ground, self-defense. You have other people who are saying, no, Karmelo Anthony is a murderer and he should face the consequences. I'm one of those people that is to the belief that I don't think that he had any intention on killing the other boy. I don't think that he went out there with the intent that he was going to kill somebody that day. I just don't believe that. It did end up becoming fatal. I don't feel like it was premeditated in any way or anything like that. But that's my opinion. Again, like I said, we don't have facts, so we can only go off what we believe and what we feel and things like that, which we are entitled to do. And the people who feel like he is a murderer, they are entitled to their opinion, just like I'm entitled to feel like I don't think that he intended to kill him. But again, like I said, I want to talk about what is happening on social media, because we've seen situations like this, not this exact situation, of course, but instances where Black people have been harmed by crooked police or vigilantes, people who want to be crooked police. And we're always told to wait until the facts of the case come out. Don't rush to judgment. There's no trial, so we can't say what really happened. But I see a lot of people who are saying that he intended to kill him and he's a murderer and he needs to spend the rest of his life in jail. And these are the same people that will tell, people who are mourning the loss of someone in the Black community that they need to wait for all the information to come out and stop jumping to conclusions. But they're doing the same thing. And that's why I did want to have a conversation about the hypocrisy that I'm seeing in this situation. Because when the Black community, and the reason I'm saying the Black community, because this situation has already become a Black versus white issue, like I knew it was going to be. When I first heard about the situation, I said this is going to be a Black versus white situation. And lo and behold, that is what is happening all over social media. I have people personally attacking me. I put up a post just acknowledging the fact that the family has raised, at that time they had raised about $300,000. And this was for things like helping with his defense. The father said he hasn't been able to go to work, so obviously the family needs some financial support from the community. And people have been showing up and showing out in that regard, and I'm very happy to see that. But I've had people jumping under my posts asking me, why did I donate to a murderer? As if I owe them any type of justification for why I decided to do what I felt like doing. So we're seeing things like that. And these people are white people. So I'm going to call it for what it is. I haven't had any Black people ask me why I donated to them. And like I said, I already knew that this was going to become a very racialized case because we live in America. America is a very racialized country. No matter if people want to admit that or not, that's simply just what it is. That's what it's been from its inception. And I really don't ever see that changing. So again, like I said, I've been personally attacked for merely asking people to donate and saying that I have donated and giving people updates on how much has been donated. I've had I've literally had people coming under my posts saying I'm evil. Again, ask me why am I donating to a murderer? And I had to remind these people you all are the same group of people that donated $3.3 million collectively to Daniel Penny. And it's a lot of people's opinion that Daniel Penny is a murderer. He walked up behind a man and choked him to death.
Well,
the man didn't even see him coming.
Well, real quick, you got a scorcher topic here you're talking about. Social media is going
You've been
mad.
Flagged?
So, no, I'm not being flagged as yet. But Facebook is asking if you're good with the caddy and the house. The caddy and the house.
What house?
So, there, of course, there's been talks that there has been a house, whether purchased or leased or some new house. So the question is, are you good with the caddy and the house? So apparently there's a caddy too. There's a Cadillac. Please, I did ask the person to elaborate, but
I'll go ahead and answer that. I'm good with them getting whatever they need. And I don't care how anybody feels about it. So we can be very clear about that.
Well, I'll address that real quick in a little different way. There is a new house, right? There is a new residence.
A rental property, but why is there a new rental property is the question.
Right. There is a new residence. Because this new residence is a gated residence. Trying to get away from, you can imagine, all of everything that has been taking place as of late, right? So there is a new residence. It is a leased property. It's not a purchased property, as opposed to what reports are out there saying. Now, as far as a Cadillac, I don't know about it. I don't know about a Cadillac.
What does that matter, though? What does that matter? What? I would like to know why they care about them having a car and a house. Why does that matter? Why is that even a question?
Well, I mean, I can understand the question simply because it's donation money, right?
So
now, if you're asking for donation money for attorney fees and only attorney fees, listen, don't cut me off.
I'm not going to cut you off, but
if you're asking for donations for attorney fees and only attorney fees, then if you now take that money and use it for anything else other than attorney fees, now that's suspect. That needs to be checked. That's not the case here. The case here is the donation thing itself. It doesn't say it's for attorney fees. It states actually that it's for attorney fees, safety, and loss of wages. So there are three things that this money can be legally, without anyone questioning, spent on.
Did that person answer the question yet? Because I would like to ask them if they donated. Because if you donated, why are you speaking on it?
Well, it doesn't sound like that person donated.
Okay, then don't talk to me. No, if you didn't donate, why are you asking about something you didn't contribute to, though? Is the question. You didn't donate.
Because
the people who donated are okay with it. He did ask me if I'm okay with it. The answer is yes. If they need a car and a safer place to live, those of us who are taking our money and donating to the fund, we are okay with it. We don't care.
Now, okay, so let me elaborate on the person's question, right? Since the person's not running the show, we're running the show. I'll elaborate on the question, right? So if it was the fact that the family was asking for donations only strictly for attorney's fees, and then this money was now used for other things, and you donated, would you still be okay with it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I realized the situation.
Okay.
That they're going to need other things besides attorney fees, especially when they're going through a crisis where his parents are not going to be able to go to work every day. These people's lives are being threatened. You literally have these. Okay, let's get into it, because there's so many people with so many opinions. And like I said, I personally feel like it's hypocrisy, because I've seen cases along these same lines play out where someone was murdered. And I'm not going to say that the boy deserved to be murdered. Like I said, I don't believe that Anthony even intended to kill him. That's just my opinion. I think he stabbed him as a way to get him off of him, or whatever the case may be, because I personally believe they got into a scuffle. I don't think he intended to kill him. So there's a lot of people who don't believe that's the case, and like I said, that's fine. That is their opinion. If they feel like it was malicious, they have the right to feel that way.
Forget beliefs for a second. There are some facts, right? The police report states, right, there was an altercation, right? That Karmelo Anthony was asked to move, right, from a tent that he belonged under. He had no reason to not be. There was no reason for him to not be there. He belonged to the school. He was a participant in the track meet. I mean, there's some facts that we can work with. It's not like we have no facts, right? We do have some facts that we can work with, right? So, he was a student at the school. Furthermore, he was a participant in the track and field event, right? So he had all reason to be there, right? The tent itself belonged to the school. It wasn't a parent's tent or a family's tent or anything like that. That it's widely being reported in the media. It wasn't none of those things, right? So there are some facts. The boy Anthony was asked by this boy who lost his life to leave the tent for whatever reason.
But why? Okay, see, this is why I'm tired of people just making stuff up. They're talking about, the Metcalf, I can't say that name. Metcalf, mm-hmm. That boy didn't even know Karmelo.
I don't believe that, because they went to the same school.
Why would he go and tell somebody to move up? Why would he go to a stranger and say, hey, get from up under this tent? It doesn't even make sense.
I don't believe that. But those facts we don't actually have, right? As the public, those facts we don't have.
Right, but that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But there's enough actual facts that we can work with the actual facts and leave everything else that we don't know alone until it comes in. You know what I mean?
I'm not trying to investigate the case. I'm talking about the hypocrites out there who keep lying and making it seem like they know things that they don't know.
Yeah, they shouldn't be doing such.
And they a bunch of people calling that out. My whole point is that I'm sick and tired of people acting like Black people do not have the right to defend themselves, because the status quo for so long has been to turn the other cheek, let people disrespect you, let people accost you, and just treat you any type of way. We're living in completely new energy and new times, and that type of stuff is just not going to be tolerated. And again, you have people who are upset about donations that are being given to a family going through a crisis, pocket watching and asking all these questions, and these people haven't donated one penny. So mind your business. Also, these are the same people who donate to people who are in similar situations all the time. And they have a problem with him. I really feel like they have a problem with the fact that we came together as a community to put our money behind him so that he can get a fair trial. The people who want him in prison and don't want him to get any type of fairness, they're upset at the fact that they have raised almost $500 within a matter of weeks so that he can get a fair trial. And that's all people want to happen. The reality of the matter is Black people are not tripping, because we already know that if it is found out that he was not within his rights to do what he did, he is going to go to prison.
Absolutely.
just like every other black youth would, every other black person would. We already understand that. This is not a situation, they're acting like this is a situation where we've seen on countless occasions where someone from their community should have been in prison and they got to walk away. We can guarantee with a surety that Karmelo Anthony is not going to walk away if there's grounds for him to be in prison. So these people can stop acting like this is some type of reverse racism situation. Oh, the judge should be removed from the bench. Let's talk about the judge for a minute because, like I said, we've seen scenarios from that community that have a bunch of similarities to this situation. No one from our community was sending death threats to the judge, putting judges' addresses, home addresses on the internet for everyone to see, which in my opinion is a dog whistle for someone to go to this woman's home and harm her. These are the types of things that are happening. All right, we got a call, so let me get the call. Call, you're live.
Yes. But you know, Karmelo Anthony, that whole situation was clear cut self-defense. Simply put. I mean, it doesn't get much clearer. He asked the guy not to touch him, he touched him, and then he grabbed him. You know what I'm saying? And threw his book bag and all sorts of stuff like that. And these people that are just opposed to him defending himself, you know, it's only because he's black. And that's just plain cut, clear, and simple. You know what I'm saying? Because if it was Kyle Rittenhouse, you know, he didn't even really get he didn't get a causes like Karmelo Anthony. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was chasing and stuff like that, and then he shot a couple people. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's when they talk about he didn't have any right. I mean, what did they want him to do? You know, because that's what would have happened. Would have been a fight. He would have got jumped, and then one of those parents may have stood their ground, and then he would have been dead, and then it wouldn't have been a news story. You know, it wouldn't have been a news story. So I think he was. When you look at the police report, it was well within his rights to do what he did. You know, it's he expressed remorse. I feel you. I don't think he meant to kill him. He just he just wanted to get away from the whole situation. But you know, when you mess around and when you're touching somebody and trying to engage in a fight with somebody, you should expect anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? It's 2025.
Yeah.
2025, you can't just engage a fight with somebody and not expect anything to happen unless you guys are clear about that prior to the fight. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we need to bring back dueling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where people, you know, a duel. You know what I'm saying? Because if it was a duel, then it would be clear-cut, precise rules. But, you know, when you come and fight somebody, especially and stand your ground, stay. You might as well, anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? You're putting your life on the line.
I got a question, caller.
He was well within his rights. People pocket watches and all that stuff like that. His parents can't drive the same car. The judge, who was a Republican judge, a MAGA judge, they're threatening her. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're saying she's not a real Republican. I'm like, oh, that's how it works.
Yeah. So no, I mean, you know, you got these MAGA people that now they're turning on. Oh, well, we know why she's a BLM, PEI. Like, no, she's not any of that. She's not any of that. You know what I'm saying? And and now they're mad. You know what I'm saying? But I know that it's going to work out for the best of them. And you know, I'm just watching and seeing what happens because this is a whole new world that we're in right now. The tides that turn, people people are not taking that crazy stuff.
I keep telling people this is new energy that we're in, and these folks, they don't know what to do with it. This is new energy. Right. We're in a new age. All this being suppressed and dominated and oppressed and suppressed, that's over. That's completely over. But did you have a question? You had a question?
Well, I just wanted to, no, I really didn't have a question. I just wanted to add that commentary because, people are just going out of control. And Twitter is a war zone.
I know. I'm not even on X that much, and I've seen people posting tweets. There's actually a content creator by the name of Black Alpha. I watch his show a lot, and when I tell you these people are threatening his life, he showed his the comments that he's getting on X where somebody told him they got a 30-pack for Karmelo and he's next. I'm like, so they're out here actually threatening content creators now. Just going completely off the rails.
They kicked me all the way off X for writing an article about it.
Oh, really? Off of X?
They kicked me off of X.
That's crazy because X is supposed to be the so-called free speech haven.
No, it's not. It's only free speech if you're saying nigger.
You know what? Somebody said that the other day. The hard ER is used over there like people are saying hello.
Oh yeah. That's the freedom of speech that they're protecting. But I wrote an article about the whole situation. I shared it like I shared my other articles. The next thing you know, I can't log back into my account.
Oh wow.
And I've had that account since 2008.
Oh wow. That is crazy. Well, I mean, like I said, this case, it's become extremely racialized. And when I first became aware of it, I knew right away that's what it would be. But thank you so much for your call.
Oh, no problem. Shelly Chris, always.
All right, bye. Yeah, but like I said, I knew that this case was going to be racialized. It's always racialized in many instances when it's a black person and a white person, and in America, that's to be expected because of the history of this nation. It's like I said, it's always been that way, and I don't really see that ever changing. But one of the main reasons why I know these people, because they keep saying, "Oh, you all make everything about race." Not in this situation. People were basically saying they felt this was self-defense. Nobody even, I didn't see a lot of black people even bringing up Metcalf's race. They were just saying they want Karmelo Anthony to get a fair trial. These people don't want him to get a fair trial. They were wishing and hoping that he wouldn't have been able to afford a good defense, and he would have just been railroaded without a fair day in court. And that is what has them so triggered. Because like I said, in my own personal life, every post that I make about the situation, I have white people attacking me. And that is just the truth.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to shut down all the rest of the social media.